start with what is the internal audit function. The Institute of Internal Auditors in Australia says that internal audit is a dynamic profession involved in helping organisations achieve their objectives. It is concerned with evaluating and improving the effectiveness of risk management, control, and governance processes in an organisation. So really what that's about is making sure that the financial, operating, strategic processes of the firm are being adhered to, and there is also the potential to give advice. In this video, I'm going to represent internal and external auditors with the same symbol here, the person symbol, but I'm going to denote them by different colours. The external auditors are going to be green and the internal auditors are going to be purple. Where does this come from? Well, historically, before the days of photocopiers, when internal auditors and external auditors checked client documentation and added their tick and check marks, they did them directly on the client documents. Now, the external auditors would do their check marks in green and the internal auditors would do their check marks in purple. So in homage to that long forgotten manual tradition, we're going to actually use green people for the external auditors and purple people for the internal auditors. Well, there are many things that are the same. For example, both internal and external auditors examine financial information for its appropriateness and accuracy. They both look at systems of internal control to make sure that policies, procedures, and processes are being followed within the organisation. Both should follow systematic and objective processes in planning out their work. They both have to gather evidence and make conclusions. Another thing that's the same is that internal and external auditors both should report to the Audit Committee. Remember, the Audit Committee is a subset of the Board of Directors comprised of independent directors only. This means that both the external auditors and internal auditors can go to the Audit Committee with any concerns they have. If they find issues with the financial controller or the chief financial officer, there's no threat of losing their job or being removed as the auditor because they talk directly to the Audit Committee. This independence is really important because remember, independence is the cornerstone of audit. Now, I've talked about things that are the same, but what things are different? Well, our internal auditors work all year round. They're working not 365 days a year, but they're working all year round evaluating all sorts of different parts of the organisation. External auditors, however, have responsibilities to audit their annual financial report and most of the time also conduct a review of the interim report. That means that they'll be in and out of the company throughout the year, but it's not a process of continual evaluation and examination. The internal auditors also examine compliance with laws and regulations. That could be anything from superannuation to occupational health and safety or environmental protection. They might also look at key social and ethical issues such as the gender pay gap, equity and diversity reporting, organisational culture, carbon emissions, and carbon neutrality. So the internal auditors have quite a much broader remit and role and responsibilities, but they're also looking at that financial information in the same vein as the external auditors.